Welcome back. We're still looking at the issue of illegal migration here on Network Africa. Now, this is based on the fact that Italian police have made 15 arrests of 15 of men suspected of throwing about a dozen Christians from a migrant boat in the Mediterranean on Thursday as the crisis of southern Italy intensified. We've been able to connect with Captain Aliyu Umar via telephone. He's a security expert and he joins us now. Captain, thank you so much for speaking with us again on the program.
Good evening, Cynthia.
Good evening. Thank you very much. Now, what were your thoughts as a security expert when you heard about this incident?
Basically, I want to say for sure that it's quite a shame. If you look at the figures, if you look at the nationalities of the immigrants this time around, you discover most of them have African affiliation or descent. That shows that we are actually lagging behind. It's a shame. It's really nothing to be proud of. When our children will have to be found in places like Lampedusa, places like Port Augustus, and areas where immigrants are dependent on the shores of Spain and Italy. They are running away from home. It's a crying shame, particularly for our leaders. It means the conditions at home are actually sending our children, tomorrow's people, away. Now to the security implications. We first and foremost have to discourage this youth from trying to get into other countries illegally. Illegally means you are vulnerable to two sides or two probable risks. The first one is being caught by the country you are actually migrating to. If they catch you on the wrong side of their laws, you definitely will be prosecuted. And the next one is those who exploit these illegal immigrants. They exploit them in so many ways. I'll tell you one way which the illegal immigrant is not even considered. When you decide to enter another country through the back doors, as we say, it means there is no official records of you being present in that country. So if you disappear or something happens to you, your relatives back home cannot begin to cost our government to take the other country's government up to account for you because you don't exist. And that's where the thing is. And that's why you see them being exploited by people who collect money from them and just dump them in the sea. Because as far as they are concerned, they don't exist. There is no document anywhere as in a visa, a valid visa, or as in any embassy saying, yes, he came in here or he went out through here. And that's not all. There are other discreet, in quote, very discreet organizations that also get this kind of people within their countries and ship them straight to research institutes. There are many vaccines, there are many innovative drugs waiting to be tested. And what do they do within these communities? They look for people who really have no trace, who are just figures, and probably not even figures on any statistical data because they came into the back door. So we must discourage our youth. And discouraging our youth should go hand in hand with our leaders ruling, governing responsibly. We must come out of the dark ages of all this ethnic xenophobia, pogrom. Those are all primitive trappings of people who existed so far back. And if you look at it, that's the nucleus of this thing about wanting to leave your country and go live in another man's country.
Captain, also the situations are not the same in all the countries. Like, for instance, what we see in Libya, where there is no recognized government. I use the term sparingly. And the situation there is escalating, getting worse day by day. And we do know for certain that despite people do weigh these risks and opt to make those trips. But now, for those who will still go against your advice, what would you say they should look out for so they're not victims of what we just saw happen yesterday, where people were thrown off the boats for being Christians?
Yes, I tell you, Hello.
I can hear you.
Okay. We have situations that actually force people to run away from their homes. We're grappling with something like that in the Northeast. We're having we're having situations also in Libya, where a lot of fighting is seen to people running away. That is very true. But there are ways to go about it. I tell you something, you have to be cautious. We know you are seeking refuge. There's a difference in these terms, or in this scenario. There's a big difference between a refugee and immigrants. What do I mean by a refugee? There are non-governmental. There is the United Nations High Commission for refugees. Even allied ones like the Red Cross, Médecins Sans Frontières, a lot of them. There are people that reach out to help and see how you can be taken away from that point at which your life cannot be guaranteed to a place that is safer. Now I tell you where the snag is. When these scenarios present themselves, as in you having displaced persons, others jump on the boat to actually seek to get out of that country. People can now go and say, no, I'm running away from Boko Haram and get help. But there is a difference, and if you look at it critically, you will see the dividing line. If you are indeed a refugee and you are seeking help as in relocation and not seeking greener pastures, you're not going to end up with pirates and other illegal people who will ask you for $1,000 to get you out of that place. The moment you meet such people, know that you are actually going from bad to worse. They will exploit you, they're going to pay your money, and they will get you nowhere. You are better off if you really want to get out of your place with a Red Cross, a United Nations Commission for High Refugees. You are better off with non-governmental organizations who, seeing the kind of situation you are going through, can seek to have the necessary modalities met to get you out of there. But most people that you see falling into this category we're talking about are actually people who are masking behind what is happening there to seek to jump on the bus of being refugees, but they're actually migrants looking for greener pastures. The fact that there is a crisis only kind of leverages the ease with which they think they can cross over. And true to type, crossing over is not about going to the embassy. Crossing over is about running into pirates and paying as much as $1,000 only to be dumped either in the Sahara Desert. For women, you are raped, or even you see a situation where they are dumped at sea. So we can begin to look at it from the dissuasion and seeing to it that these people don't go that way because it's not any better than to begin to address issues of people being thrown out of ships for being of a particular religion. The question is, how did they get on those ships?
I would like for you to continue, but I think we've gotten the meat of what you're saying. Thank you so much for helping us draw the line between being a refugee and a migrant. Thank you for your tips. We appreciate your time as always on Network Africa. And we'd like to hear from you here on the program. Feel free to reach out to us either via email or Twitter. Your just an handle are on your screen. As always, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much. I'm Cynthia.